Okay, sorry I was muted. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in today. This is Christine from Coins.ph doing Global Crypto BD Director. And again, as usual, there's Amira here. Amira, do you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay. So I think for today it's just going to be two of us. We're just going to talk about what we have been building and coins, which we're really genuinely excited about, which is Coin TradeDesk. So let me give a brief context over here for everyone. So for a long time, a lot of big traders and companies in the Philippines have been pretty much slowed down by all these banking drag, which means high fees, restricted banking hours, waiting days for money to like move around from A to B. And this can actually eat up as much as up to like 8% of your revenue. And if you think about like a bigger chunk of money, 8% can be quite a lot. So we developed Coins TradeDesk, which is game changing. We're offering the lowest trading fees in the country, and it's around 0.03%. The spread would be around 3 bips on USDT and PHP, and also USDT to USDC as well. So what we're trying to bring here is not just a normal trading platform, but more of 24/7 financial bridge for you for 365 days, like just every day, every second, same day settlement, historically low pricing. And this can actually support a lot of high net worth individuals or big businesses, even small ones, to move their money, move their assets faster and cheaper than before. So, what we would like to highlight over here is we kind of want to go through this more in depth, and Amira can kind of help answering some questions that people might have. So, Amira, um, can you share like what is like the current landscape for like high net worth individuals and corporation in the Philippines when it comes to the stable coin requirements in 2026, or any just recent how?
Yeah, so stablecoins is becoming the new narrative, not just for crypto people. And everyone is just embracing USDT and USDC. So this includes institutions, banks are looking into it, and just like also using it like the use case of crypto. So they're using it in their payroll to pay international suppliers to move money across borders, and it's faster than a bank. It operates 24/7. There are no like banking hours, and it's changing the landscape in the Philippines. So users care about two things: speed and the cost. So Trade Desk was built for those.
Exactly. So what strikes me a lot is back then a lot of people were asking like what is stablecoin? Is this a crypto thing? And now it's actually just a core part of a financial ecosystem. So let's talk more about like Coins Trade Desk and how does it work. I think it'll be easier if you kind of explain it in a way where everyone can understand in more like easier tone for the listeners and our users.
Yes, I was at an event yesterday where we were talking to like banks, and there's still a hesitation around crypto and blockchain. So, a quick way of thinking about trade desk is think of it as a concierge for everyday use. And you can, like, not many people know that you can directly buy on the coins, like through coins. And this is what Trade Desk enables. So the regular app is great for retail users, but like for institutions and for over the counter and like larger trades, especially if you trade in volume, that's where this comes in. And you have to trade at least 1 million pesos. But like you get access to like much better rates and dedicated like VIP team and much more features than just purely trading via app.
Yeah, for sure. So I think just one like 2 words to summarize this whole thing would be just like coins concierge. So basically we will have obviously the easy version, just we want to make it simple for everyday users, but whoever wants to kind of delve in deeper, have more direct access, personalized service and built for more scale, then we they can use trade desk. So let's focus on the pairs that we are offering: USDT to PHP, obviously, as well as USDT to USDC pairs. Any like add-on things that you would like to highlight why we are focusing on these two pairs?
Yeah, thanks to our partnerships and like especially Way and like the team, we're able to secure like one of the best rates. We are the cheapest rates for USDT and USDC over the counter trading. And it's what is mainly being used for institutions, businesses, and it's like super cheap. So we're making it easier for Filipino businesses to participate in global trade without the usual hidden costs associated with traditional currency.
True. And also right now, the most used stable coins, especially like globally as well, but also our coins app is USDT and USDC. So we are targeting those two mainly. And this leads on to the great news. So we are focusing heavily on 3 bips. So let's talk about like what is bips, what is BPS, because not everyone perhaps might be familiar with or get kind of confused with the direct translation to the percentage, and why should a high volume trader need to care about this specific 3 bips that we are trying to highlight here.
Yeah, so 3 bips stands for basis points. 3 bips is just 0.03%. To put that into perspective, if you trade 10 million at a typical bank, they might charge you hidden fees. At 1%, that's 100,000. At 3 bips, that's 3,000. So basically, we're putting 97,000 pesos back in your pocket if you transact and use stablecoin. Especially if you're moving big volumes, like the savings, like really compound and make a difference. And more SMEs, like this was previously only like the bigger players, but now this is becoming more available to SMEs, to the smaller players, to payrolls, and it's just changing the game. And right now we're opening it up even more to the public.
So yeah, when you just say like 3 bips, people might say like, oh, like that number doesn't really hit me hard. But I think in reality, when you actually trade, or just even like when you look at your bank accounts and then you get like interest rate, right? When you see the big numbers and when you see them side by side, and then the figures could be like 7 to 8 to 9, then even a fraction of like those percent compound is pretty big and it moves quickly. So 3 bips in this different category from what market has been pricing was pretty noticeable. And now it comes to um, some people's question might be like, okay, but a lot of people say we have the most competitive rates, we have the best rate, or etc. Right? A lot of people always want to claim we're the best. So let's
Mhm.
just be honest over here. Like, what makes Coins TradeDesk 3 bips offer make it objectively different from all the competitors or just market in general?
Yeah. So most places hide their profit in a markup. You never really know the true price. And with Coins Trade Desk, the transparency is there. We are being 100% upfront. Our spread is fixed. And also beyond the 3 bips, we might be able to have further conversations and like negotiate that further based on like the client's requirements. And this is a historic low for the Philippines and meant to set the standard for high volume trading and what it should actually cost.
I think that's why this is one of the most exciting news that we wanted to share with all the users, because it really is really remarkable achievement, not only from like our side but also to the entire Philippine users. So let's say people want to like trade, then is there like a maximum or minimum limit to how much they can trade at this rate?
Yeah, so it's built for flexibility. We have clients moving between like 1 million to 100 million, and it's the same rate, 3 BPS. So we have enough depth in our system to handle massive trades and have that stable without the price changing on your account mid transaction.
But kind of goes into more technical over here. So um, how does trade desk then handle slippage for trades when there's significantly larger trade than the 1 million minimum? Let's say it's like 100 million or more. How would they handle all these like slippage?
Slippage is what happens on regular apps when you place a big buy or sell order, and it might push the price up or down while you're trading. With Trade Desk, this doesn't happen. It's a locked price, and you're able to transact without having to experience that,
Yeah, because
regardless of how large the trade is.
got wanted to just quickly address this over here because I believe normal users might not really be aware of this, but like big traders, or if you're actually into trading and knows more about it, then you will obviously have this question. So I wanted to just bring this opportunity over here where we can like mention about this. So yeah, like now we talk about like businesses. So can business use these things for like their payroll or paying suppliers? Because previous our AMAs always talk about like how stablecoin can make payments to different SMEs or business can utilize this. So let's kind of slip back to how businesses can use this.
Yeah, I've heavily mentioned this in like previous AMAs and like talked about this a lot because we do use it on a small scale for freelancers and individuals, but it's also available for like businesses to pay their entire payroll in stablecoin. And this is like becoming more and more the norm. So instead of waiting 3 to 5 days for a bank wire to clear, a company can use Trade Desk and just like make it instant. And also their employees, like the money that they use, it's all available on blockchain and they're able to track it. And it's just been a game changer.
Which is I think very great. It's same day 24/7, fundamentally very different operating model than all the traditional financial instruments that people were more used to. So I think this is also a great gateway for a lot of businesses to just not only think about their payroll, but paying like overseas suppliers, treasury operations, etc. Um, okay, so like we talked about like the trader part, the businesses part, but for like our existing users are gonna be asking themselves right now, like, oh, then how is Coins TradeDesk very different from just using a normal convert button instead of the regular coins app? Because when we just open the app, we see like how much peso we want to change it to USDT or USDC, right? It's just a one click button over there. So how is that different from Trade Desk? How would they have to access? And does 3 bips pricing apply to every user, or is it specifically for Trade Desk? Let's clear up all the questions that they might have over here.
Yeah, so for retail users, they can continue using the app, but the 3 bips is for like the bigger traders above 1M. And it's directly like you can reach out to the team and you have a team that will give you the rates. So there's zero slippage, custom settlements, and you also will have like multi-currency support. So this is for the bigger players.
Good. So the simple summary of what Amir has said is our app is great for retail shops, instant one to buy different coins, stable coins, just peso, right? But Trade Desk is more like a personalized OTC service. So let's say you have a chauffeur to like get you to the airport or book the flight ticket. It's just like that. We have a professional trading team waiting for you. If you want to get access to this team, then we have Telegram or WhatsApp, these platform where we can actually handle this. And this allows for zero slippage, custom settlements, and multi-currency support. So beyond PHP, we would also support different currencies, for example, US dollar, euro, Japanese yen, and we're currently still developing to support more currencies. So I think you can also stay tuned for that. Okay, so I want to close on something very important because it's a real concern for anyone doing serious volume. We're not talking about just like 10 US dollar or 100 US dollar, right? It's a bigger volume. So there are a lot of informal OTC channels out there, Telegram groups or peer-to-peer desks or some Facebook groups that you can just kind of see just spamming a lot of different things. So why should high net worth individual or a business choose Coin Trade Desk why would they have to come to us over one of the other gray market options, or just perhaps easier options that they can just face online?
Yeah, if you want to, especially if you're dealing with like larger volumes and you want to bypass the massive counterparty risk, you don't know where those funds originated. And regulatory and compliance, not just in the Philippines, but across the world, is getting stricter and stricter. And the last thing you want is like your money being frozen or just having issues and dealing with, you don't know who you're dealing with. And with coins, it's doxed. Everything is just really regulated, and it's a BSP licensed entity. So every trade through TradeDesk is fully compliant, and it provides corporations the official documentation, proof of source. Compliance here isn't a hurdle, it's a form of insurance for your capital. And especially if you're not really versed in stablecoin, like you really have to know who you're dealing with. And we're able to offer it like at the cheapest rate, at the fastest rate, at the best rate with a really good team. But also like it's just easy to do business with coins.
I think that's the piece it gets underestimated the most, because there are a lot of options, not only in the Philippines but also globally, where people want to like on ramp or off ramp, but sometimes like the source will be a bit ambiguous, and especially if you're trading big, if you're trying to on off ramp like big money, then it kind of gets a bit more like higher concern what happened over there. So I think for institutional capital, compliance is not just a hurdle; it's a protection, and eventually, it's like a must thing that you will want to have to protect your asset, your reputation, and also just your surroundings. So this is something that we really, really take seriously at Coins, and because we're a license, I think definitely you can always trust us. So yeah, I think this is all the questions I wanted to have a chat with Amira. I think this was a really great walkthrough. Is there anything you want to highlight or mention, Amira?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And also to like our listeners or users, like you can ask questions and we can create AMAs in the futures. We're really active on the grounds. We're active like with school caravans and we're really doing our best to constantly improve. So thank you for all the user feedback, the conversations we've been having, and looking forward to more.
Yeah. So if you want to get to know more about this whole trading desk, you can always reach out to us through social media. And when you do choose our trade desk, you get a direct line to our professional trading team via Telegram or WhatsApp. So feel free to make any inquiries or actually start using it. Also, Amira will be in Bangkok next week for Money 2020. So if you are based in Thailand, if you catch her in conference, feel free to bombard her with questions. I myself will be in Hong Kong for Hong Kong Web3 Festival. So if you catch me in any events, or if you want to like reach out to me, whoever is based in Hong Kong, feel free to as well. But yeah,
Yes,
I
our team
think
is very active and also like the Brazil team like are constantly going after conferences and if you want to reach out just like send a message and yeah, say hi.
yep. So we'll be in not only in the Philippines, but also Bangkok and Hong Kong. So feel free to find us. But if you have any other questions, always comment. We will try to reply you as soon as possible. And thank you for everyone who tuned in live. Thanks, Samira, again. And we'll talk more at the next one.